we are now seeing, as we gain more people in leadership roles, that the closer to the situation we come, perhaps the better, when more people participate in the electoral processes. What what it does entail in a local situation is that there's more, I believe, of an opportunity for people to keep pressuring and protesting and to apply the courts and educational processes.
The people behind Proposition 1 have said that court-ordered busing in itself takes away from the local school district's local controls, and yet you say that Proposition 1 would remove control of neighborhood schools. I'd like to know.
What we're saying, let us take, for instance, Mr. Robbins' initiative imposes whatever standard it will impose on every school district in California. I was in Stockton recently, and a lady was telling me how, since they bused the white children into the former or largely black school, how things had changed, how there was a better quality of teaching, and people were happy about that. So what this says, though, is that, all right, school board, you made that decision. But if a handful of people in Stockton want to go back into the courts and to reopen this all over again and pursuant to the standards that Robbins wishes to impose, they have that right in the language of the initiative itself. Not only does it invite the revisiting of cases, it says to the courts, you must put them at the top of the list on the court calendars. So I think in a situation such as the one I've given you, the school board is almost helpless. Robbins is triggering a reopening of this, which in this particular instance is succeeding.
Do you think that local control of schools is a viable thing in this day and age?
Well, you know, for many, many years, NAACP was on the side of federalism, and we still see that in many instances we have to look to the federal government in this type of thing. Given the issue of whether you have the centralized control or local, that we may be able to work things out better. In other words, Mrs. Williams and the Pasadena people were able to get rid of the bigots on the Pasadena Board of Education. We're going to ask her to come and help us to get rid of some of the people in the legislature, too. I think that a lot of the people who are taking the pro-GAN line, you know, the limit on spending, the Proposition 13 line, don't really realize that what they are doing is more and more centralizing control outside of the local arena. The legislature keeps everybody at bay, waiting to see what the bailout is going to be. So that even people who hate to see a bus ought to think about the trend. And the Robbins thing is just another one of those kinds of things.
Virna,
yes.
Virtually at the same time that the elections go on, what is your position on that? In view of the case that it might look simpler to say, all right, in view of the legal problems, you say Robbins entails accept the voluntary plan as a way of